Ying. I'm the host for today, and for this episode of podcast, I have invited 4 UTAR students to join me in the discussions.
Hi, my name is Yin Xiong.
My name is Feng Chunyuan.
And my name is Julia. Hello, I'm Jessie.
Good morning. Together we are going to talk about something that's very timely, current, and important for our daily life. The topic of our podcast is UTAR student perception of the impact of visa-free policy on China and Malaysia tourism. We will discuss about the details of China-Malaysia visa-free policy that implemented recently by the both government and what UTAR students think about this policy. In December 2023, Malaysia introduced visa-free entry for Chinese tourists for up to 30 days, and China offered the same for Malaysian. In recently 2025 April, this policy has been renewed and continued. This policy is not only about travel, it's about economy, politics, and people-to-people ties. So let's start with the awareness. Like, how aware are UTAR students about this policy? Like, do they know this policy or they don't? Honestly, I feel a lot of students know this policy, but not everyone is clear about the details of the policy. Like, what do you think, Chen Yuan?
I agree with your opinion. So, I come from China and most have heard of it. But if there is some students could explain it probably, 30 days visa-free stays both ways, while others just new traveling to China don't need visa now.
Oh, so you're from China?
Yes.
Then we are hoping to get some like interesting perception from you. Like, same here. When I first heard about this visa-free policy, I didn't really know what it means. I first thought it's they allow people to travel to China or Malaysia during festival season only. So I'm not sure about what it's doing out without further research on it. So it shows that the awareness doesn't always mean that we understand what the policy says.
Well, I agree, and misinformation actually spreads really quickly without you knowing. Since with today's social media and people sharing everything, it will be misunderstood quickly. And I actually had a friend that the visa only applies for business and not to travel. I think business and travel have a different policies for visas.
Yeah. Well, for long-term business travel, it's not applicable for visa-free policy, and this is so true. So we can conclude that students are aware of this policy, but they need to put like a further effort into understanding the policies. So that's why this is really important for the government, like the NGOs and even the medias to like spread informations, true informations, and try to further their understanding about this policy. And next, we will talk about the UTAR students' overall attitude. Like, how do they feel about this policy? Like, do they think this policy is good, or do they think their policy is bad? They need to approve something. Like, from what I've seen today, I think most of them are very supportive for these policies. Like, what do you think?
I agree with what you said. They see it as a good for the economy, as it actually boosts the economy and the tourism industry. At the same time, it also creates more job opportunities for the tourism sectors, since they will actually need a tour guide to navigate around Malaysia, since there's a lot of states and a lot of windows into the sea actually.
I think they have a different reason to travel to Malaysia. Some of them support just because they run business, while others support because they want to enjoy the visa-free travel from Malaysia to China or China to Malaysia.
I actually agree with the point said by our friend over here. So I'm going to talk about the positive side over here. So a lot of students feel this policy really makes traveling much more easier, especially those who are interested in attending exchange programs and then going for internships or even going for short study trips to China. Actually, the application process is really much cheaper compared to last time, and then it really brings more convenience because maybe you can do it online instead of applying physically. Because they don't agree with visa applications anymore. So I have a friend who is studying in journalism now. She plans to study in China. She plans to apply for an internship over there in Shanghai. So she also told me that this makes her life so much simpler over there.
So in the sum up, like students feel very positive, supportive to these policies that they bring convenience and the process is more cheaper. And I really can relate to the point that you said that earlier, like they like the policy because they can travel to China or Malaysia to China very easy. Like if I have a chance, I would like to visit China because it's now simply more easy and more cheaper now.
I agree with your opinion, but media, plays a big role too. Positive news makes students optimistic, but negative stories about maybe safety or job competition make them hesitant.
Yeah, that's why attitudes are really mixed here in how students perceive this China-Malaysia visa-free policy over here. Now, so the students point out is about the economic benefit over here. So with the existence of more Chinese tourists who come to Malaysia itself, so local businesses in Malaysia such as tourism, retail, and then those hawker stores, those who are selling food, are likely to see a boost in their income and revenue. And then business students in particular say they really saw those new opportunities for internships and then part-time work and even their future careers. So to summarize, it's not just simply an answer giving just yes or no. It's really shaped by the personal experience, economics, and as well as the media exposure.
So you mentioned just now the mixed attitude.
Yes.
I think it's not a bad word. It's a very good sign that it shows the students are thinking critically like about the policy. They just not blindly agree with the policy given by the government. Like they think, is this visa policy really good? Why? Or is bad? Why? And how to improve? Like they really use their mind. So I personally think that the policy is a huge boost for the Malaysia tourism industry. Like China is one of the biggest, like according to the statistics in 2024, China is one of the biggest source of tourists to Malaysia. So the visa-free policy can attract more visitor, like more visitor from the China will come to Malaysia and they have their spending here. It boosts the Malaysian economy.
Yes, I really agree with you. Many students really feel that way. So as I mentioned, as mentioned, right, visa-free policies really make traveling in China or Malaysia much easier because there's no more applications anymore. So they believe that more arrivals of the tourists to Malaysia means more spending, which is a good news for those hotels, restaurants, and the shops.
But some students are more cautious. They worry about overcrowding, traffic jams, higher living costs, especially in KL, it will be more expensive. And some of them even worry about policy may increase the security risk and may lead to increased number of illegal immigrants as we have seen in the past that happened.
Their worry is very reasonable, but I think the security and the law enforced procedure, like from the Malaysian part and the China part, is very effective. I think they can handle things very well. So I got the concern here. Even sometimes I feel conflicted also. Like on the other hand, many tourism are good for the business and the economies, the country's economy. But on the other ideas like that you mentioned, like the traffic jam, something overcrowding, I really hate to find a parking in Penang. It's very hard, like not in the mainland, like in the Penang Islands. It's really hard to even have my lunch. It's too crowded. So I think like it's a two-way. So people, it depends on, like our attitude, it depends on the situations.
Exactly, I think it's just about the cost-benefit trade-off. but of course more money, more pressure on the environment and also the infrastructure improvement.
Sure. Many students also saw cultural benefits. They like the idea of Malaysian and Chinese people learning more about each other. As a student from China, I learned I think something interesting about Malaysia culture is that the food, the traditional dance. I'm also interested to see how New Year is celebrated here in Malaysia.
This is the exciting part about the visa-free policy, like the learning of culture between these two countries. Like tourism is not just about money and happiness, it's about building bridge between two countries. Like for the Malaysia and China visa-free policy, it really strengthened the relationship and the ties between the both governments. But I think the government should like plan carefully, like they should handle carefully for the policies to avoid negative parts.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about that because our country is actually a very safe country over here. Our country is actually free from firearms, so it is a good thing for them to spend money over here, to travel over here, which helps in our economy, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah.
So can we like just there's the last part for our podcast. So can we just like sum up in a very simple line from each of you, like your opinions, view or perspective, any just simple one word.
My opinion is awareness is higher, but sometimes I really want to say that the details are fuzzy.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think this policy really brings a lot of positive benefits to the tourism sector, but there may be some risks such as overcrowding or may cause chaos. So it depends on the students' perception, which leads to a mixed perception between them as well.
As for me, I think the attitude depends on personal experience, the media exposure, and also the economics.
So I think for Europe, we are maintaining a balance between the optimism and also the caution.
So I clearly understand here. To conclude this part, our discussion really discussed three things. Like first, the awareness of the students, and next, their attitudes and why they have this kind of attitude. And the last one is the tourism impact, like how they think this visa-free policy impact the tourists. So we can conclude that for the awareness, they are aware of the policy but not always understand the clear details. And the tourism impact, they have both opportunities and challenge. They need to, sometimes the policy is an opportunity for someone and sometimes a challenge for someone. And the next one, their attitude, there is a mixed attitude among the UTAR students, and it's shaped by personal interests, medias, and broader economic force. And to me, through these podcast sessions, it shows that UTAR students are not passive, they are very active, they are aware and engaged, they are not waiting there and for information and they just agree blindly and accept things blindly. They really think critically about everything they receive from the internet and from the governments, and it's a very good sign for students that they have this kind of mindset. And thank you for listening for our podcast. This is the end of it, and see you next time. Thank you.